What is happening here at n here? What is n here? Now, if you read on the statement here, they're also going to, you are not going to guess some of these things. They're going to be given on the statement here. So they say, which given here, you have f of x, right? Then you also have g of x. So you have f of x, which is a parabolic function. And then you have g of x, which is a straight line. And then they say E, M, and P are points on the intercepts. They are being specific here. E, M, and P are intercepts, are points on the intercept. Now they are not saying which is the x-intercept or the y-intercept, but they are telling you which are points on the what on the intercepts. Okay, and then they say which n is the turning point. So we're not going to guess which n is a turning point. N, it is a turning point. And then from here onwards, they say which we have n TD, which is an axis of symmetry. We know how to get the equation of the axis of symmetry. Okay? And then they say which T is the point on the graph of G. So we have T here. The first question says, calculate the coordinates of M. Let's come and check what is happening at M. Start with M. What is happening there at M? They meet each other. Yeah, but now not only are they meeting each other, they are also meeting with the y-axis again. If they are meeting with the y-axis here, what do we know about x here on the y-axis? X is going to be equal to what? To 0. So in this which we can come and say which x is 0 on this equation and x is 0 on this equation. It doesn't match. Now we can't use this one here. Why we can't use this one here is because we don't know what is m, we don't know what is c. So which one are we going to use? We're going to go with what? With f of x. And then if we put 0, then there we are going to say we have f of 0, which is going to be minus 0 all squared minus 4, 0 plus 5. And then it says which this is going to be 5. Right? Then the coordinates of m, we're going to write them. The coordinates of m is going to be 0 is to 1 is to 5. And then you get 1 mark for this. Now, we also want the coordinates of e again. What is happening here at e? Y is equal to 0. At p and e, y is going to be equal to what? To c. So, okay, we use that into our advantage. We say, okay, here we have 0, which is going to be equal to minus x squared minus 4x plus 5. And then if you do this, you need to factorize it. Now, if you want to factorize, the simplest thing that you can do is to use a quadratic formula. Or if you want to factorize using a bracket, you can divide with the negative, divide with negative, divide with negative, so that we have something positive. Divide with negative, divide with negative, divide with negative. And then it says which is 0 is going to be equal to x squared plus 4x minus 5. If you open two brackets, it says which x and x again. And then we're going to have plus 5 minus 1. And then it says x is going to be equal to minus 5. And then x is going to be equal to what? To 1. And then let's start with the coordinates of P. What are going to be the coordinates of P? It's 1 is going to be 1 to be 0. Okay, what are going to be the coordinates of E? Minus 5 is to 1 is to 0. Okay, we're done with that. So we can come and put them here. Okay, we know what is this here. This one here, you said it's minus 5 is to 0. Okay? This one here, you know it as 1 is to 0. And then you know this one to be 0 is to 1 is to 5. We're still fine. Okay? Okay, what do we want? We want the coordinates of n. They told us which one is n. Okay? What is n? It's the turning point. How do you get the turning point? Let's ask ourselves that question. How would you get the turning point? So we're going to use the formula that says which we have x, which is going to be minus b all over 2a. Now, what is our a here? Let's come and check. What is our a here? Minus 1. What is our b? Minus 4. What is our c? It's 5. And then if we do that, we're going to have minus open bracket, minus 4 close bracket all over 2 multiplied by minus 1. And then you type this in your calculator. If you type this in your calculator, you get what? Minus 2. So this is the x coordinate of the turning point. We're not done again. Now we want to get the y coordinate. We're going to say f of minus 2. Meaning everywhere we see x, we're going to put minus 2. So we have minus 2 all squared, minus 4 multiplied by minus 2 plus 5. And then you type this in your calculator. You get what? They say which we have 9 here. So it's minus 2 is to what? Is to 9. Okay. Now what is the next thing that they want? They want M again. And then they also want what? C. How do you get M and C? So if we want to get M from what we learned in analytical geometry, this is C. We can use the following formula that says which we have y2 minus y1 again, all over x2 minus 1 minus x1. So we know there are points M and E, they lie on the same straight line again. Okay. What is going to be our M then? We will say which we have, if we do it alphabetical, we'll say which we have 5 minus 0 again, all over 0 minus 5. And then if you do that, it says which one is going to be M. We no longer trust us. What is going to be our M? It's 1. Okay, we'll write which M is going to be equal to 1. What else do they want? They want the value of C again. How do you get C? You get C by saying which Y is going to be equal to MX plus C again. We know what is M. What is M? So come and put 1, and then we have X plus C. And then from here onwards, you can use point, or you can use, if you use point E, it says which you have 0. It says which is 0 is going to be equal to 1 multiplied by 1 time minus 5 plus C. Take this one to the other side, it says which C is going to be equal to 5. Okay? So we wanted to know what are the coordinates of C and what and M. Okay, I'm going to stop here.